Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Melinda Hart. You are watching Stamping with Hart. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up. And today we're going to be making this super fun Halloween card. So if you joined me yesterday, you saw a Playful Pets birthday card, and we were using some really cute dogs. And I had promised that I was going to make a Halloween card with this mischievous little black kitty cat. And that's what we're going to do today. That was what inspired this card. So if you're stopping by live, I would love to hear from you. Leave a comment. Let me know, have you started your Halloween crafting yet? Or are you just nowhere near ready? Either way is totally okay. So I am going to just focus on the project today. And then if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. On my YouTube channel, I posted a tip video this morning on how to make this Tombstone border, and we will go over that just again quickly today. So let me grab my card base and then we will start making this card. It's one of those things where these are the Summer Nights add-on cards. So they did an add-on to, I believe it was the July paper pumpkin. And then you could buy this set of 24 cards, and they have these beautiful, there are 3 different night sky looks, sunsets or evening looks. And we're going to be using this one. Okay, so let me just grab one of these. I just will be using these nonstop until Halloween. So yeah, it was the July kit, the Summer Nights. And then we had an add-on kit that you could buy separately from the Stampin' Up store. So all of this is already done for us. We're just going to go ahead and do some stamping and decorating of our card today. So let me start with the kitty cat. So this is one of the kitty cats that does not have a coordinating die. So you would need to fussy cut this if this is a card that you are interested in making. I promised that I would do some fussy cutting yesterday, and I did not get the chance. So I'm going to do it today. Whenever you are fussy cutting, you can decide which of the little details you want to keep and which maybe you want to skip. So these little spiky hairs and everything, like I think this one is worth keeping, but this one is so hair thin, I'm just going to cut that out. But it's entirely up to you and the look that you're going for. And then, you know, with projects like this, I just like to take my time when I am fussy cutting and totally understand if it's not your thing. I know that it's a pretty divided topic in terms of whether you will fussy cut or not. I actually really enjoy it. I really like it. But if you're more interested in stamping, you could take a different stamp from your collection and just color the kitty cat black. But I love the stance and everything. I love the pose of this one. So I think it is absolutely worth it. To fussy cut this one out, I had a black cat growing up. Her name was Baby, and she was just the best cat in the world. I grew up with pets, and I've had cats and dogs, and I adore them all. I mean, we do not have pets anymore. My son is very allergic. I think I mentioned this before, but I miss it. I miss the fur babies. So let's see. All right, so with the tail, I'm going to try to keep the detail in the tail. Just keep those little separation right here, the hair in the tail. A lot of people will say that when they fussy cut, they keep their scissors straight and they move the paper that they're cutting. And I totally agree with that. But there are times that you're going to have to do both. Okay. The artistry of these pets really captures their personality, I think. All right. Now I'm just going to trim around the feet. It's okay if it's not perfect. I should challenge myself to make cards using every single dog and cat that they have put in Playful Pets between the stamp set and the designer series paper. All right, now I am going to try to keep the whiskers because I think that the whiskers are so cute. Again, they are very thin. So I'm going to be careful with the way that I trim around this. If you don't want to keep it and you want to just sketch them on, you could do that too. Okay. And now I'm just going to start going in here to get that detail cut right around the whiskers. I'm cutting in first, and then I'll trim out this inner piece near the nose. I think I just trimmed off the whisker. How does it look with one whisker? I don't know. Let's see. Maybe better to draw it on. Well, I'm going to take the whisker off. If you can manage to keep them like I did here, definitely do that. That was a little accidental snip. I apologize. Okay, so we have our little kitty cat. Let's talk about the Tombstone Border. Okay. Oh, and this is the piece of paper that this kitty cat is from. So I had already pre-cut, just around, but just so that you know which sheet that's coming from. Okay. All right, so I'm going to be using the Stampin' Spot, the Archival Basic Black. I have the mini version from the Paper Pumpkin kit in June, but go ahead and use whichever ink. I just love how saturated this black is, and that's what we're going to be using to stamp today. We're going to be using the stamp set Ghoulish Goodies, and let me see if I can find the stamp set case. I have all my stamps already out on the blocks because I made this card yesterday, but I still want to show you the stamp set. There are so many fun stamps in between the images and the sentiments that you can use. This is a very versatile set. We're going to be using Boo, Eek to You. It's not a trick, just a treat. We're also going to be using this little spider, all from this set. Okay. I'm going to take my black glitter paper. This is available in the mini catalog, August to December. And I'm going to cut it to 1.5 inches. Just going to line it up all the way down. Okay. we're going to take our lovely labels pick a punch. This is the tip that I was sharing yesterday. Instead of trying to feed it traditionally, we're going to feed it from the side. And you can check out that video. I will link it. Go on the underside so you can see what I'm doing here. All right, so I'm just feeding it through, lining it up, and punching. Okay, and then we would do that all the way across. Now I have a piece that is already done, and we're just going to do the stamping and the decorating on it. Okay, so it's this piece here. This is what that would look like if you stamped all the way across. If you want to skip the black glitter paper and just do, this is gray granite cardstock. You could do a version just in the gray granite and stamp, you know, and you might even be able to do some scoring lines to kind of define out those tombstones, just depending on how you want your project to look. I love the layering look. Okay, but if you look at this layer, these are a little too close in size to that one. So I actually liked this sized down look for this particular punch design. So let me just show you. Yesterday in the tip video, we were talking about the 1 inch, the 3/4 inch, and the 1/2 inch. I'm going to not be using the 1/2 inch for this particular card, but for this design, I used the 3/4 inch. And then for this one, the fancier looking one here, I did actually use the 1 inch size. I felt that this one was just too close and was actually hiding the black glitter. So that's why I did that. So we're just going to go ahead and do one of each just so that you can see what I mean here. I cut the tombstones to 1 1/4, but the thing is, it's easier if you have to do a bunch of these at once to just trim them off as you go. So I'm going to trim this one off. This is the one that's just a little too wide for me. I can use that as a tombstone on a separate project. All right, and then I'm going to take this on the fancier one, the 1 inch. I'm going to feed it in. Let's go to the underside. Okay. And punch. And now we're going to cut that to 1 1/4. Okay. Then I'm going to take my 3/4 inch piece. I'm going to go into this design. Let's say that one. And I'm going to feed that through. And punch. Cut that down to 1 1/4. And that gives us our 2 tombstones. So I would just adhere these on the black glitter paper. I personally like the tear and tape, but you could use whatever glue you're comfortable using. I like something a little bit stronger whenever you're working with a textured cardstock like that, with the glitter layer. Okay, but we're actually going to use this one since we have already put this all together. Okay, I just wanted you to see how that process worked really quickly. And now we're going to do some stamping and some shading. So I'm going to get a little sponge dauber. And we're going to use this to age our tombstones a little. If you like sort of the newer, cleaner look, you could definitely stick with that. So let me keep my little inspiration card right over here. Let's bring this down here. My other pieces are hidden underneath this. So let's go ahead and get that out. All right. Now, I don't think that you have to stamp these perfectly, but again, it's up to you. So the order that you want to go in, again, totally up to you. We're going to do a boo. We're going to do to you. And eek. Okay. And then onto the card base itself, what we'll do, let's line this up. And it looks like we're going to be trimming this off right here at the line. Okay, that looks good. So based on this is where I kind of position my, it's not a trick, it's just a treat. Now I'm just gonna put my kitty cat on here to position for my little spider and little web, which I have here. And so this time I'll probably have him go closer to the T. Let's see how I do with this. Perfect. Okay. All right, and so we're going to glue these pieces down, and then up in the sky I have these bats. The bats are actually from the dies of the Magic in the Night suite, Magic in This Night, rather. And I think I have some already pre-cut. I just cut a million of them, but it doesn't have to be those. These are also from the Magic in This Night suite. You could always use one of these, but I just think that for the proportion, I like the smaller bats better. Okay, so let me glue these down. Oh, before I glue this down, let's dirty up the tombstones just a little bit with the sponge daubers. This is a look I really like. I'm going to take the Memento Tuxedo black ink here, and I'm just going to dip my sponge dauber in. Okay. And then let me do, that's pretty dark. So I'm just going to dab off, and then I'm going to start going in around the sides of the tombstone with the black. Yesterday I used, I had already had some early espresso on here. So I actually mixed in some of the early espresso, which looked cool. It looked like dirt. But today we're doing the darker color here, which is just as effective. Okay. All right, so you can see how that kind of ages those tombstones in whatever shading you're comfortable with. I like that the words kind of look brighter and stand out. Okay, and I'm just gonna adhere these pieces. I'm loving this tombstone border. I'm thinking about doing this on one of the coffee cup carriers too. All right, so now we're just going to position our kitty cat. And the way I angled the kitty cat down because I wanted it to look like the feet were actually, based on something. Now it's up to you because you can see it's a little bit of a balance. I don't want to cover the boo. So I can do the kitty cat just right there. Okay. Just made it. Just made it with the boo. All right, so here's what it looks like without the bats. Okay, so if you wanted to do a moon or stars, if you want to incorporate some of those paper pumpkin extras from July, of course you could do that. Let's go ahead and see if we can add in some bats, but did I put them away? Okay, here we go. We've got some bats, pre-cut bats right here. Whenever you're using this particular bat die, it cuts 3 in a pass. So the die comes as just one piece. So just depending on what you have on hand, you might even have some bat stamps. And you could always stamp your bats on too if that's what you have at home. I can't get enough of these bats. I'm going to be using them nonstop. Okay. So let's just go ahead and position them. Get our glue on there. Okay. So here we have it. Now, depending on if you want to stamp on the inside, here I stamped "It's the most spectacular time of the year." And this one is blank, but you know what? Let's go ahead and we'll finish it off and we'll stamp it again. Okay. I moved my camera yesterday, and now I can't quite get the positioning right. That's what happens when you change up your system, right? Okay. I love it. I absolutely love this stamp set. I cannot get enough of these card bases. I think that the Tombstone Border is so cool, especially if you get into designing or decorating scrapbook pages, and maybe you have some, Halloween photos that you've been wanting to scrapbook. How cool is that for a border? Now, of course, you could do it 12 inches all the way across, or you could just do these little sections and like tuck a picture right behind it. So forget this being a card. Imagine that this is a photo and you just tuck it in there. So, so cute. All right. I really hope that you enjoyed this fun little Halloween card today, incorporating some non-Halloween items. So the Summer Nights add-on card, the kitty cat, our lovely labels Pick-a-Punch. None of those are traditionally Halloween. Ghoulish Goodies and, of course, the Magic in This Night bats are. But just so much fun in how you can kind of, just get creative with your projects. All right. Thank you so much. Have a great day.